All all right. Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Knit State of Mind podcast. This is episode 39. We're recording to you. We're recording on a Friday evening. It's the end of July.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, it's been a while.
it
I'm
has.
Wanda.
I'm Heather, and welcome back if you've been watching us for a while, and welcome if you're new. We are an irregular knitting podcast. We film whenever we feel like it, and we've got lots to share, so we figured it was time.
Yes, yes, yes. Looking forward to seeing what Heather's been working on. I saw you not too long ago, so
Mhm.
I got a little preview, but now things are done.
Things are done.
Um,
Yeah. It's been
all right.
as educators, we have the summer off-ish, so it's been a focus on the finish for me, at least, trying to get some stuff off the needles.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe we'll do a little catch up about our summer at the
Mhm.
end, just briefly.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've been working on a big project, a big test knit, so I've been somewhat monogamous. So I have a couple of FOs and a couple of whips, but I think Heather has quite a bit going on right now. So
Yeah, and I'm excited to see. As Wanda mentioned, we did actually see each other in person a few weeks ago, which was so exciting. Actually, about a week ago, week and a half ago.
what
So it was so nice to be able to see all your projects in person. But I will start with what I'm wearing, I think.
mm-hmm.
You have a weird spot of light that's like right on your face. If you want to move to the right or the left, just so you know. Mm, that's better. Back, maybe. Okay, there you go.
How's that?
That's good. I feel
Okay.
like it's like when somebody has something in their teeth, it's like you have to say something.
Thank you. Thanks for the
um,
heads up.
anyway, I am wearing the Boum. I don't actually should have looked up how it's pronounced, but Boum, Boumt, by Kiyomi Burgin. This was in an older issue of Pom Pom. It's the summer 2017 issue of Pom Pom. And I was just looking for a summer top. Actually, I had this yarn in this orange and red, and I got these new overalls, and I thought that would match perfectly. So looked for a top that had the gauge I knew I would get with this yarn, and decided on Boum. And I love it. I'm so excited. Um, this is Queensland Collection United yarn, which is a wool cotton blend. I used about a skein and 2/3 of the orange and like 3/4 of a skein of the red, which is amber and geranium. I knit the size 5, which is a 43-inch bust. And you can't see because I'm wearing overalls, but I did shorten the body a little bit just to make sure I didn't run out of yarn.
Mm.
Um, and I really liked the pattern. The pattern is actually designed in like a wool DK weight, so I don't know that it's supposed to be
Mm.
summery, but with this summery blend, it came out nice and summery. So
Yeah.
I knit it basically exactly to pattern except for shortening it. And then I'm going to show everyone my armpit for a second, but I did do a few decreases in the armpit ribbing. I've seen people talk about that on other patterns, and I think it makes the ribbing there on the arm side fit really nicely.
Mm.
So
Very
um,
nice.
we'll see in works in progress. I already have another one going.
Oh, snap.
So
Nice.
for next time, the only thing I think I'll change is because I did have some yarn left over, I'm going to add another set of stripes to make it slightly longer in the body. And then you can't tell from a distance, but because you're changing colors here, so you have like loose yarn hanging and then picking up stitches,
Mm.
if you get close, it looks a little messy.
Mm.
So I have some ideas for how to make that look less messy. I'm either going to knit 2 edge stitches in the main color so that I'm only picking up from the main color, or I might knit the edge stitch in garter
Mm.
just to make the pickup a little bit more
Yeah.
even, or both. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna experiment when I'm not there yet, but um, the other thing about this is it did block out a little bit too big I was worried about that when we had talked, and it did block out too big. I just threw it in the dryer on low and checked it every 5 minutes, and after about 20 minutes it got back down to the right size. So
you took the risk and it worked out.
Yeah, and it worked out.
I love
So
it.
anyway, that's my Boum tea. I'm super happy with it, and I'll be showing you another one here coming up soon.
Yeah.
What did you finish?
Well, I got to see this in person, and so I love the colors, and I didn't know you had the jumpsuit, the overalls planned for it, but it's a perfect combination. So
yeah, I'm very happy with it. I'll definitely be wearing it a lot this next month or two.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time, which is, well, Portland's a little bit different than a Bay
we've got
Area,
time. I can
but
probably wear it through
you have some time.
September. Yeah, October even.
It makes me want to get some stripes on the needles. It's a cool pattern. And I was going to say that with the picking up stitches, the garter will probably help. I can only say that because I've been picking up a lot of stitches lately. Anyway, so this is an old knit. I knit this last summer. This is a Jessie made Ripple Halter. And it's not for everyone, but I really like this cut. So like it has this deep just open cut right there. Nothing really complicated. It's just 2x2 ribbing. I use Malabrigo, the sock yarn that I had in my stash, the color ochre, which I've used before. That's it. So yeah, I pretty
forgot
much
about that one. I really like it. I do like the shape of it too.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, I feel like I pretty much finish one summer knit a year. Is what I'm feeling like.
Me too. I always have big plans for all the summer knits I'm going to knit, and then I don't.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, I have several other FOs because I have been finishing a lot of stuff. Do you want me to show one and then?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yes.
So the other big thing that I finished is the Ola Yoke by Ella Gordon. I'm looking down because I actually wrote down notes, which I usually don't do, but I have. So anyways, this had been a long languishing whip. And I don't remember how many episodes ago, but I did talk about it a few episodes ago that it was languishing because I had bought this as a kit. This is the colors that are called for in the pattern. I had bought it as a kit when I was a couple sizes smaller than I am now. And so I was worried I was going to run out of yarn. And then I knit the sleeves, and I thought the sleeves were going to be too tight, and it was just feeling stressful. So anyways, this summer I put the sleeves on, and I was like, okay, no, the sleeves are going to be okay, especially after they're blocked. And I was really close to finishing the body. So you knit it from the bottom up. So I had the sleeves finished and the body was like here or something. So I was like, this is ridiculous. The fun part is the yoke. I'm almost there. So I finished it. So a couple things. Yes, I love how it looks. It fits okay. And I'll talk about that, what I did. I did some experimentation with the fit. But what I did is, because I knew I had bought the kit for the size 40, and I knew that I needed, really honestly, like I have a 44-inch bust. I probably would have knit like a 46 or 48. I forget what the sizes are in the pattern, just to give myself a little ease. But I knew I didn't have enough yarn for that. So what I ended up doing is I knit the body the size 44. And then my shoulders are a little narrower anyway. So when I split here, when I joined the sleeves and the body for the yoke, I've seen other people talk about this. I didn't do it like an even amount of stitches for the front and the back. I made it so there was 16 more stitches on the front than on the back. And then I just figured out some math for decreasing, and I did double decreases on the front a few times. And then I eventually decreased it down to the 40-inch size for the yoke. So basically the body is
Got
the
it.
4-inch size and the yoke is the 40-inch size, plus the sleeves, the front and the back are not the same
Mm-hmm.
width. Then I knit the yoke. So that fits pretty well. I think that would have fit really well if everything had been like one size bigger, even just to give it a
Oh,
ease. It's a little bit tight right
yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
So the sleeves just don't fit like quite right, but whatever, it's fine. And then the big drama came at the very, very end.
Oh, yeah. I kind of know about this.
I will retell it because I think it's so. You guys will see in a minute. Wanda's been working on a project with the same color of Jamieson and Smith, which is color 81. This is charcoal black color, and you had texted me to say, are you going to have any left? And I was like, no, I don't think so, because this whole thing with the sizes and blah blah blah. But if I do, I'll let you know.
Well, and I texted you several times to check back in.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know, I don't think so. That's actually part of what motivated me to get this out and finish it. Is I was like, okay, let me at least see if I'm going to have any left. So long story short, I did not have any left. I was playing Serious Yarn Chicken. I actually ran out right before the collar. Now the collar is super tiny. It's 5 rows of rib. That's how it's written in the pattern. But I was completely out. I was like looking for scraps. I was looking to see if there were like ends I could cut off and splice, but there were not. So I was like, shoot, what am I going to do? I'm so close to being done. I knew you didn't have any extra because you had been asking me if I had anything. So I was like, I looked around to see if any local yarn stores carried it. They don't. So I looked through my stash and I had some Brooklyn Tweed Shelter that was the same color, but ish. I mean, close enough. You can't really tell from a distance. Brooklyn Tweed Shelter is a worsted weight. So I was like, well, I could just decrease and then the rib would be chunky and just decrease some stitches. But then I was like, no, what I ended up doing is separating the plies of the Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, because I don't know how many plies it actually is, but you can easily split it into two. Yeah. I think it must be 2 ply. You can split it into the 2 plies, and the 1 ply is basically the same weight as fingering weight. But of course, it's a worsted spun yarn, so it's very, very delicate, because what gives it the strength is the plying. So when you take it apart, there's like nothing there. So I was like knitting super slow and like delicately, wouldn't fall apart. I got the collar done, and I just did a regular bind off because on the pattern the neck is quite open. So I thought, well, I'm going to do like a regular bind off to make it a little tighter, just to like cinch it up. Well, then that was actually too tight. Like I could get it over my head. It just wasn't comfortable. So then I had this super delicate yarn, and I was trying to pull out this bind off like by stitch. It was ridiculous. It kept falling apart, and then I was like felting it back together. Anyways, I finally got the whole bind off picked out, and then I redid it, and I did a tubular bind off, which was also quite tedious. And it doesn't really look that great if you look at it up close, but it's done. So that's my story.
Done.
And the moral of this story is always buy a kit one size bigger than you think you will need, because you never know what will happen if you don't knit it right away.
But that was a brilliant solution as well, like
yeah. I mean, it was summer, right? What else was I trying to do? I had plenty of time.
Working with what you have.
Yeah.
That's what I tried to do with my project. But I ended up having to buy more yarn. I don't know if you all remember when I first started this, those who have been watching, I said, yeah, I'm using my stash. But then, anyway, so we'll transition to my Jamieson and Smith, my Shetland project, which was a test knit for Katrin Seeburger. I think that's her handle on IG. And it's called the Heirloom Quilt Cardigan. And it used quite a bit of Jamieson. It's been blocking for days, and it's still a tiny bit damp.
Oh, really?
It's still a tiny. We talked about this, right? Because
Mhm.
it's fingering held double.
Mhm.
You could use DK as well. So Jamieson held double, right?
Mhm.
Jamieson and single dries pretty quickly,
Mhm.
but it's been blocking for days. So part of me is like, this isn't it in its fullest
Right.
glory. I still have some short ends on there to clip off, and you'll know it'll bloom a tiny bit more. But I'll show you, and then I'll give you a bit
Oh my
of
gosh, it is so amazing. So amazing.
info. I'm trying to see. I always struggle with the directionality on the camera.
Oh my
And
gosh, it is so great.
I'll show you the back. Here's the back.
So wonderful. And you all, that is seamed. Those squares were knit individually and seamed. That's what blows me away about this. First of all, how neat your seaming is, and also the patience required to do that.
Yep. I'll take all the compliments because I earned them.
You did.
Okay. So
Is it too wet to put it on? Or too hot to put it on?
I can try. I haven't put it on yet. I've been waiting for this glorious moment.
The big
Um,
reveal.
but it is damp. It is damp. But let's see.
I'm just so curious about the shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's meant to be cozy. I'm ready for fall and
Oh my
winter.
gosh, it's such a great shape too.
It's meant to be big and
Yeah.
oversized. I can't move back much
Mhm.
more, but you can kind of get a feel
Yeah.
for it, right?
I love that shape though.
Without
Yeah.
showing you my bum.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that is just a piece that you are going to have forever. You're going to get so many comments and compliments on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay,
Yep.
I'll stop talking. Tell us all about
Okay,
it.
so I'll tell you about it. I'm gonna take it off though, because it is a little warm out. It's not warm, but it's 70.
Yeah, that sounds
Anyway,
about right. Like 80 here, which is also pretty normal for the summer.
all right. So where do I begin? See, I submitted test notes and I didn't save them. I'm like, Heather's all prepared. Okay. So what I want to say about this pattern first is that this pattern made me a process knitter. It is so involved, and I enjoyed every moment of it. I thoroughly enjoyed all of it. Um, so it's fingering double. She's so flexible. She advocates for customizing your
Mhm.
knits, right? So even though it was a test knit, there, people did different things. I used rustic yarn, Shetland yarn. A lot of people use merino or like superwash. And it's just nice because I also did the first size. They're all pretty oversized, but the first size requires 36 of these blocks because you have 4 rows, and the second and third size has 3 rows and the blocks are bigger.
Okay.
So I had to make 36 of these. And so that's just fun, right? You're
Yeah.
going through and you're just making these combinations of blocks. And I didn't really plan them out. I was just like, I'm going to put this with this, and then I'll sort them out when they're all done and figure out the best arrangement. Of course, there is no best arrangement. So it was also
Mhm.
a practice in like just kind of letting go and letting it flow. So 36 blocks. You're knitting color work flat. So I had to get used to that.
Mhm.
I kind of remember each block for me weighed about 12 grams. Wait, yeah,
Yeah, that
about
sounds
12
about right.
grams. Yeah, about 12 grams per block. Um, I ended up with a strategy for knitting color work flat because at one point I was getting achy. And we mentioned it last time. What is it? The Russian purl.
Mhm.
And where then on the right side, you're knitting through the back
Mhm.
loop. What else should I say? So after the blocks are done, yes, you figure out your arrangement and you seam them together. And I looked at videos and I was, it's not perfect and I love that, but I was really trying to have my points meet up,
Mhm.
you know. Um you are doing garter on the vertical
Mhm.
side, but the other direction's not hard either. So I do like the seaming and I really enjoyed the seaming. Going into it, it's like, oh, I gotta seam all of these blocks, but it's mattress stitch,
I love
right? And
mattress stitch.
so
It's so satisfying.
it
Yeah.
is once you pull it and it's like zip, it's
Mhm.
beautiful. Um, and then you're picking up for the sleeves. She has two sleeve options. You can decrease at the end and it's more of a balloon, or you can keep them straight. I did some random decreases. I decreased not frequently, maybe like every 10 rows going down the arm, and then a few more times here, just so that it came in a tiny bit. Um, and then you're doing ribbing. You
Mhm.
pick up for the bottom and top ribbing, and it's tubular bind off. And again, you would think, oh, this whole neckband, this whole bottom
Mhm.
ribbing, but I enjoyed it. The
Mhm.
tubular bind off, it's so meditative.
Mhm.
Um, so you can kind of
Can I ask a question? Because I was doing another project that I'll talk about in a minute
see
that
that.
had a lot of tubular bind off on it. Oh, sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, not at
Okay.
all. I'm just rambling about it.
um, and I that particular project was super wash yarn, and I had to just do like a giant long string of it. But I was wondering for yours, did you do shorter lengths and then spit splice it together every so often, or did you actually do
Oh,
the whole long?
I wish we had had this conversation because I kept it long.
Okay.
I kept it long, and it was fine. But I did have to spit splice because um by the time I kept asking Heather if she had more of this Jamieson and Smith, and I ran out during the second sleeve. So I ended up buying Spindrift, the other
Mhm.
Jamieson Shetland. And so I used that also on this ribbing. And I think it might be a little bit more delicate than
Hmm.
JNS because it broke on me several times. Like I had to pick back literally
Mhm.
um, to get some yarn and then spit splice. So
Mhm.
I actually had to spit splice it several times
Okay.
during the tubular on the body ribbing
Mhm.
here. What else is important to know? The needles is going to vary depending on your gauge and the fabric you want. Again, she wants it to work for you. I think it's written for a size 7. I ended up using a 6 for this size because the blocks are supposed to be a bit smaller. Mine were a bit bigger than gauge. Um, I
Yeah.
think that's it.
I mean, it's just I kind of want to make one, but I also don't because it'll never be as good as yours.
Oh, stop it. No, but check them out. People have been posting these. I think there's a hashtag, and the pattern's supposed to be dropping at the end of the month. So yeah, the
Yeah.
heirloom cardigan. I can't
Yeah.
wait until it gets colder.
I mean, I could see so much potential for that pattern too, because you could also just make the blocks and seam them together and then put on a border to make like an quilt style afghan.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what you initially didn't you initially think I was
That's what I
making a
thought you were
sleeve
making
bib?
when you made me
Yeah.
guess last
So
time. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, congratulations. That was a huge project. And yeah, I love
Thank
that it was all
you.
about the process. Like, and that you enjoyed it
Yes.
all the way through. That's awesome.
I did. I did. I did. Sorry, I feel like I took up a lot of time talking
No,
about
I took up a lot of time too. We said at the beginning we have a lot to share.
You have a lot to well,
I
this
have a
is
lot to share.
big. This is a big share though.
Yeah, that was worth like 6 of mine. Okay, I will share. I have one more that I'm going to talk a little bit more about, and then I have like some just not that interesting rapid fire things. So longtime viewers know I did a temperature blanket that was from April of 2022 to April of 2023. So I finished that, and the way I had ordered my yarn was by looking at the previous year, so 2021 to 2022, the temperatures from the previous year, and then I ordered the colors for each temperature and the quantity that was like indicated by the previous year's temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
For various reasons, of course, the temperature varies from year to year, and so I ended up with a lot of extra of one particular color, and I actually throughout the year had to buy more of some of the other colors. And so at the end, I had some leftovers that I didn't really know what to do with, so I knit a different blanket, like a baby blanket. So this is the colorful. How does it go? I think it goes like this. This is the colorful corner to corner blanket, which is a pattern by Purl Soho. So it's just got this one corner that's color. Here, let me stand up. It's got one colorful corner, and then the rest is the same color. So what I did is this is all knit Picks Stroll because that's what I had used for my temperature blanket, and I just held it double. Because it's like a DK or worsted. I don't even know what the pattern is written for. So the colors, this is Rainstorm Heather, Sprinkle Heather, Sapphire Heather, and Forest Heather. The pattern does give you directions for how to get it to be certain dimensions, but what I did, because I was trying to use stuff up, is I knit all of these different blues and purples. And then I looked at how much yarn approximately that had taken, which was about, I forget, but I looked at how much yarn it had taken. I knit the green, straight for a little bit. And then once I got to having as much green left as it had taken to do these colors, then I started the decreases. Because it's
that makes sense.
You start here and you increase.
Yeah.
So I recommend it as a way if you're trying to use up yarn and you have, because you can kind of just eyeball it to see when you have about the right amount left to start decreasing, and it worked out really well, and I didn't have too much left. So, yeah, that's my corner to corner blanket. It's free pattern by Purl Soho.
Very nice.
You have another FO, right?
I do. How many FOs do you have?
I have a bunch.
Okay, actually, I'll talk about this. I'm not going to talk about it long because I feel like I spoke about it for a while in the last podcast, but it wasn't done yet. So I'll just show.
Right.
Yeah,
I'll just that wasn't finished yet. Yeah,
it wasn't finished. So I'm fall winter ready, and these two might be my top 2 favorite knits ever because I love this one as well. I'm so looking forward to it. This is the Helia sweater by Joanna Ang. Joanna Ang, Jo Ang Knit or something like that on Instagram. So some of you have seen this before. Lots of twisted rips, split hem, and then
sleeve.
The glorious sleeve. I should open it this way, right? There.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's so good. It's so good. So yeah, it's done. Folded neckline. I think I used 6s, maybe 7s. Sorry. You can go
whatever to get the gauge, right?
Mohair. Which mohair was it? You've used it too. But it's mohair.
The Isager mohair that you use? No, the Isager was
Biches Buches and the Isager Tweed mustard colors. Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, those are two really good ones. You're all set for the fall
I'm
and winter.
set. I'm
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
That's it.
Um, while I'm looking at it right now, but for those of you who remember, I was trying to start some plants. It finally grew. It's like growing this new leaf. So that
She's
happened.
looking good.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
very excited. um,
I actually really wish I could show you all because we have a pothos outside.
mhm.
Um, and I don't know, a squirrel or a bird must have dropped a seed in here because another plant has taken over.
Uh-huh.
I want to show you really
Yeah, I
quick.
want to see.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah, that's like a totally different type of plant growing in there. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we had
Oh my God, I love
our
it.
our pothos was lush and, vibrant. And then this plant, unidentified, if anyone knows, took over.
Oh my gosh. It
So
almost looks like a little tree or something.
I think that's what we
Yeah.
thought. And we thought, because we have a loquat tree right here, and we thought initially that it may have been a loquat tree, but the leaves are different. So, and we can
Hmm.
probably use an app and figure it out, but
Yeah.
we haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Well, so a little botany detour there that we took.
I happen to be sitting outside staring right at her. So,
It's so funny though, because I also have a plant. My balcony is right out there. I have a plant that is just like supposed to be leafy foliage, and all of a sudden a flower grew in it. And I think the same thing happened. Like, I don't think it's part of that
mm,
plant. It's just like a random.
yeah. And I mean, we've had this pothos for years, years, but we're like, hey, right now they're cohabitating. They're in
Yeah.
a symbiotic relationship, and the other plant seems to be taking over. But hey,
Right. Yeah. Aw.
anyway, moving
Anyway.
on.
Okay. So I have just a stack of rapid fire FOs, just some other stuff that I finished. Some of this one I had was pretty close to done, and I had actually started, I think, back when I still lived in Oakland. But this is the Friday Sweater Mini
It's so
by
cute.
PetiteKnit. I think it's actually the same front and back, so I don't really know where the front is and where the back is. But anyway, I knit this out of Rowan 4-ply soft. The colors are Suede is the brown and Daydream. And I knit the size 2. I don't know if it came out the right size or not. With baby things, who cares? You just give it to a kid who looks like they're the right size.
There you go.
I'm thinking about making the adult version of this pattern at some point. I did really enjoy knitting it, and I like it's that like broken rib texture.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
yeah, I like it too. That's a good one.
But
I need stripes. The stripes,
yeah,
they're calling. They're
and I'm
calling.
not normally that into stripes, but for some reason they've been calling to me lately. So
Yeah.
there's that one. Um, I had a few failed attempts to knit some socks with this yarn, and I finally just decided to make a hat.
Mm.
So this is the Midas hat, which is a free pattern by Laura Reinbach, I think. So it's a folded brim. So the brim is double, and then the rest of it is just single. So with it, I think it's meant for fingering weight yarn. This
Okay.
is Knit Picks Hawthorn. The color is Pantone. And I find Knit Picks Hawthorn, I don't know, it's just a little thick for me for socks. Or I guess I could have knit him on a bigger
Mm.
needle, but to me, it feels like almost more of a sport weight than a fingering. So I tried to make socks with it. I just wasn't happy with how they were coming out, but I think it looks really cute as a hat.
It works.
Then I made getting started on my Christmas gift knits. So I always start with my stepdad socks because they're the biggest and they take the longest.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the broken rope socks from the Hello Sailor sock set by Summer Lee. So it's a broken rib. Let me tell you what, this broken
I
rib on
like
this
that.
dark navy yarn almost killed me.
Oh, yeah.
But I finally got it
Yeah.
done. We were talking before about how both of us had bought neck lights, and this was what put me over the edge to finally make that purchase because I was like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't do it, I can't see it. So anyway, did those. This is some opal yarn that I had. It used almost the whole ball of that opal navy yarn. And then I have a couple just plain afterthought heel socks. This is Tiny Human Knits, the colorways wrapping paper, which is one of her Christmas colorways. And then the heel toe and cuff is Small Bird Workshop. The color is like tutu or something like that. And then these are also Tiny Human Knits. These were like an avocado dye that she had done a while ago.
Oh, I like that color combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all my FOs. Oh, and one more honorable mention, not pictured. The sweater I was talking about that had all the tubular bind off. I knit for a friend, and I gave it to that friend already, so I don't have it to show. But I did want to mention the pattern because I really enjoyed the pattern. And the pattern is called After the Storm by Kelly Fowler. And it's actually kind of a similar shape to the cardigan you were just showing. It's like a boxy drop shoulder, but I really liked it. I wasn't aware of the pattern, and my friend picked it out by like searching Ravelry. But the two things I really liked about it was it did have that garter selvage, which is what taught me that I should probably do garter selvage.
Yeah.
And the way that the drop sleeve was done was different than I've seen before. So anyways, I enjoyed the pattern, so I wanted to mention it. So
if you have a picture of it, we might be able to insert it.
I'll have to look. If I do, it's not interesting. It's probably like lying out flat, but I'll see if I can get a picture. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm saying might so that no one comes for me if it doesn't happen.
Right. All right.
So give it up. Woo! For us and our FOs.
So many FOs. What are you working on?
Okay. Whatever. I casted this on because I went to a knit night and I wanted something easy, even though I have socks on the needles. But I've been knitting on the socks while visiting my mom, so I'm kind of in the rhythm of that. But this doesn't look like much of anything. I'm trying to remember which way does it go? And Mark plays our videos in the back. Oh, maybe I shouldn't tell on him. I, for some reason, saw a clip of, I think it was our last episode, and I looked at that and I was like, this looks like the same color that Heather's using for her, it's the Leela pattern. Deshane, yeah. Anyway, so matchy. When I had to order the Jamieson Spindrift, I was like, let me just get something for a one skein project. Anyway, this is the back of the mini mock neck by Jessie.
Oh, okay.
So the back is ready, and I have to do the front. It's fingering weight, West Yorkshire spinners, chocolate lime color. Nice. So this is my one summer project. So I guess I finally finished after 3 years the minaret. So, but that was a finished one. So this is my one summer project, most likely. US 4 needle.
It's not bound off, right? It's on a cable down there at the bottom.
It's still on the needle.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute, that's too small to be the back. You're gonna join it to, okay.
Yeah, I gotta put it on scrap yarn.
Yeah.
This fabric feels a little bit see-through, but I'll work it out. As Mark says, I'll work it how I work it.
Yeah.
He always tells me, work it how you work it. So I'll work it how I work it. So I'm working on this.
Love it. And then we can wear them together when I finish. I actually have barely worked on that Deshane since we last recorded, so I don't even have it here to show. But
we'll blow the audience away wearing our lime green colors
next time. Yeah.
Next time.
Cool. I've been seeing that pattern around and debating if I should make it or not, but I don't think it's happening this year.
Not this year.
No.
It's, I like the low fingering for me, the skein. Feel like I made something for the summer.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like that would look really cute actually with that and then some kind of cardigan over it as like a twin set type
Yeah,
situation.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like
Yeah.
that.
Okay, well, I actually don't have that many whips because I have been trying to get stuff done, but I did start a second Boum, as I
Oh,
mentioned.
that's right.
So again, Boum by Kiyomi Burgin. And this one, I had 2 balls of black and 1 ball of this like off-white grayish color. So
Mhm.
here we go.
So now you'll have your more neutral and
Hmm.
then your vibrant, colorful.
Yep. So I am going to make it, like I said, a little bit longer. I'm going to do 1 extra repeat of an additional stripe of each color. And then the other thing I forgot to say is I want to try for the sleeve shaping down here, the underarm shaping. A long time ago, I had talked about the pattern for the pin tuck tee, which I actually ended up never finishing that because I just really wasn't happy with the yarn. And when I moved, I just got rid
Mm.
of it. But I love that's a free pattern. I forget the name of the designer, but I'll put it below. But that pattern, the designer does the underarm shaping with short rows. And I thought it was like
Mhm.
so elegant because it prevents that little stair steppy situation.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go
Mhm.
back and look at that pattern and see if I can figure out how to do that for this. It
Got
might be
it.
hard with the stripes, but I'm going to try it.
Yeah. And the other one is bottom up as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pattern is constructed the same way. It's bottom up, and then there's this
Yeah.
short row situation for the underarm, and then you split. So I'm going to see
Yeah.
if I can figure out how to make that work for this.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, because
Um,
she has the short rows in this, but it's top down.
oh, also for the arm
She does.
shaping?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting. Maybe I'll have to buy that pattern and look at how she does it for that
Yeah.
too.
I'm still in it, but yeah, I've been doing some short rows,
Yeah.
arm shaping.
Yeah. Short rows are the way forward.
That's a bumper sticker for knitters.
Everybody else will be like, what are you talking about? I don't.
Oh, that could be the name of this episode.
Short rows are the way
Anyway, I don't
forward.
know. Stop. Leave it alone.
Do you have any other whips?
I just have one more.
Okay, let's see it.
Okay, it's socks. So I don't know. Let us know how you feel about socks. I'm talking to the audience. It's kind of like, oh, it's a sock. It's not a
Yeah.
pattern. It's a vanilla socks in
Yeah.
particular. But um these I went on a retreat and I casted these on there's a ferry to the island. And so I casted these on there and by the time I left the retreat, the first sock was done.
Woohoo! Retreat
That
sock.
I think I worked on it on the air. I'm trying to remember if I also worked on it on the airplane. I think I worked on it on the airplane as well. But anyway, I'm doing it to the side too. I don't know why I'm doing it to the side. Anyway, these are Zauberball.
Mm-hmm.
And again, fall, winter ready. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna wear these in the summer. I did them toe up. I wanted to try toe up.
And how'd you like it?
I like it because I mean initially when I started these, my plan was to try to use all of the yarn. So I
Mm-hmm.
did split the ball into two. I weighed them out. And then as I was going, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I was like, so I stopped and we'll see what happens. I was like, if I do contrasting toes or heels or something, I can get some shorties or some
Mm-hmm.
shorter ones out of the leftover
Mm-hmm.
yarn. So that's that. But toe up, if I mean, I think it's hit or miss for folks. Different people have their preferred heel, but this is a German short row heel, and I like how it fits my feet.
Oh, good.
I, I do kind of feel like the gauge feels looser to me than when I do top down, so I'm not
That's how
sure
I
about
always
that.
feel too, and I don't know why.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so that's not just me. Um, because I took this out and recasted it
Mm-hmm.
on several times. Um, And I ended up at 48 stitches
Oh, wow.
to get this,
Mm-hmm.
which feels more like my foot. I haven't finished the second one. I basically only pull this out when I go to visit my mom. So this is where I am.
I mean, I'm so curious because that's one of the reasons I don't like toe-up socks is I feel like my gauge isn't right, but it doesn't make any sense because once you get to the foot, you're just knitting the same amount of stitches. I think it's all in my head.
No, I don't know if it's all in your head because I feel like the gauge was not right. Um, and also these are already done, but in retrospect, I was like, I actually should have, I could have used this for like a shift cowl or
Mm.
something. Um, I don't know,
It is
kind of
nice for socks.
like,
It wears really well. I think I have that
yeah,
same colorway or I had. I made my mom a pair of socks and then I made myself a pair. And
yeah,
it does hold up really well. So,
okay, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, well, I have a pair of socks too. Um I was on vacation recently and I had gone down to California, which is where we saw each other in person.
Hmm.
Um, and on my way, and I was gone for like 10 days. And on my way back, I stopped in Ashland. And at that point, I had had the same few knitting projects with me for these 10 days, and I was getting kind of bored of them. So I went to the yarn store in Ashland
Mm.
and I picked up this skein of yarn from also, side note, I found the most amazing, like gold colored, mustard colored linen dress there, which I also purchased.
What?
So maybe I'll wear that on a future podcast. But anyway, so this is Sock Obsession yarns. I had not heard of them before. The colorway is Stardust. It just has like the tiniest little like pink and blue speckles in there. And I cast it on right away in my hotel room and finished one already. This is the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern, which is
Mm.
just a little texture pattern with a heel flap and gusset. I really like this pattern for like lightly variegated yarn. I think it really shows off the yarn
Mm.
well. And then I
Mm-hmm.
started the second one just the other day. So, um,
Very nice.
I had been knitting socks in tandem. Like I knit those interminable socks for my stepdad in tandem, like the cuff of one, the cuff of the other, whatever. And
Mm.
I don't know, I've been enjoying just knitting them one at a time because you get finished with one faster.
Yeah, it's a trade-off, right? Yeah.
um yeah, and then the only other thing I have is I did work quite a bit on my half and half wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Um which I didn't really think I had, but I guess because I did take it on vacation with me, I got more than I thought I had done. I picked it up today to see if I felt like there was enough to show, and I was like, oh, I'm actually really close to being done. So this is half and half triangles wrap by Purl Soho. You've all seen it. Let me make sure I don't lose stitches now at this advanced state. So turmeric yellow. I don't remember what this pink color is called, but it'll be below, and I'm almost done. I just have,
Yay.
of course, the rows are like super long now, but I
Mm.
just have that many more rows to go. So
Yeah,
I'm very close to being done.
very
I really
nice.
like these colors together. And I used a little bit of a bigger needle than I did last time, and I think I'm going to really like the drape of this better too. So,
What what size needle? Do you remember?
these are. Oh no, you know what? That's a lie. These are also. I used a 2 last time, and this is also a 2. But last time I did it on wood needles, and I'm using carbons this time, which my gauge is a little looser on the
Got
carbons
it.
than on the wood.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
different needles to get a looser gauge. So that's that.
Yeah, that's to be celebrated too. It's such an endeavor to make a half and half wrap, particularly the large size.
And at a certain point, you feel like you're just never going to get it done. And then now I feel
Very
like I'm motivated. I might even finish it like tonight or tomorrow because I'm just like, I'm so close.
nice.
Yeah.
Is this your second or third?
This is the second one that I've made.
Second, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the
Mm-hmm.
pinkish fuchsia one.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Is that it?
Yes. Future plans?
I think it may have been the same as last time. I wanted to get the test knit done so I'm gonna start this knit I'm making for someone, that cardigan, the nymph
Mm-hmm.
cardigan that I mentioned a few episodes ago, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe last episode. And actually, future plans are sewing plans.
That's right.
I wanted that was again test knit done, and then I could really dip into my sewing. I went to a sewing class. I'm not gonna show you what I mean, but I don't have it with me. But I was joking with the teacher. She was like, "You're gonna go home and open your box, right? Open your sewing machine." And so it's actually a week later, and I took the sewing machine out.
Good.
So my future plans involve sewing.
Nice. I have not used my sewing machine since I moved, so that's ridiculous, but yeah, that's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. So if any of y'all are sewers, let me know. Let us know what you're sewing and what you're making in general. We always ask that, but we
Yeah.
mostly show knitting, sometimes crochet, and
Yeah.
I would like to know what you're sewing as well.
Yeah. Let us know what you're making. I'm just thinking sometimes I show cross stitch. I haven't showed that forever. Maybe
Oh
next
yeah,
time
cross
try and
stitch.
I haven't been doing it as much, but I do have a few things I could show. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean my plans are I'm gonna try and finish up a couple things that are still like DeShane. I'm probably gonna pull that out and finish it. And
Mm-hmm.
then this past week I went through so Kiyomi Burgin, who designed this tee, has a pattern that I think had been published in Twist Collective. I should have pulled up a picture of it, but anyways, it's a
Mm.
color work sweater, and the yoke of it has this pattern on it that's keys. And I've
Oh.
had it in my favorites in my queue forever, and I had never purchased the pattern. And I went to like look at it the other day to think about making it because I thought, oh, I have this yarn, could work for it. Well, the pattern has been discontinued and you can't purchase it anymore.
That's the
Um,
one.
yeah, so I might actually like email her and see if there's like any way to get it. But in the meantime, then I got like super stressed out that these other patterns that I had planned were gonna like somehow disappear. So I went through and bought a bunch of patterns that I have the yarn for. I know I want to make them, and I packaged them up in um, yarn and pattern and made myself little kits.
Look at you. You're all organized.
So my next plan is I'm going to make the Felix cardigan
Oh, cool.
for another friend of mine that had requested a cardigan. So,
Mm.
but I just thought that was a good example of. So I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
love
it's
it.
nice because now I see several different projects lined up, and I think it's also like, okay, I have a lot to work on. Whenever I get the bug, I can go pull something out and start it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that. Very nice.
Yeah. And if anyone knows where I can get that key sweater from, let me know.
Yeah, you never know. Put it out there.
Yeah.
Um, well, I think this is it.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll be back in a few months when we have some other stuff to share with you.
dang, a few months.
Maybe next month. You never know. Sometimes we're gone and we come back like the next week, and sometimes we'll see you when we see you. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.